So back to example 3, let me just reread it. So it says, consider the line segment with endpoints -3, 3, -3, 5. What do the endpoints, which are represented by the ordered pairs, have in common? What does that tell us about the location of the line segment on the coordinate plane? So here's what we know. The x-coordinates are the same, -3, -3, but they're in different quadrants. They are on the same vertical line. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller just so we don't get in the way of our graph here. Okay. Find the length of the line segment by finding the distance between its endpoints. So we've been following two steps. We've been actually graphing, so let's go ahead and do that. So -3, I'm going to go left of the origin, 1, 2, 3, -3. Now I'm going to go up 3. So that's -3, 3. But I also know that my other point is at -3, -5. So I have to count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down here. So now I need to find the distance between both points and 0. So since they're in different quadrants, I'm going to add that difference. So let's go ahead and talk about the length here. I know that I have to find the absolute value of 3 plus the absolute value of -5 and figure out what that's going to equal. Do not forget your absolute value symbols. So absolute value of 3, absolute value of -5. So that's going to equal 3 plus 5, which is going to equal 8. So my final answer here is 8. Okay, let's move on to some exercises. So far, we've been doing all modeling, where I've been walking you through the problems. For this part, we're going to do a little bit of modeling and then a little bit of guided practice, where you're going to try the problems independently, and then we'll come back together as a group and see how you did. So let's read the directions. It says, find the lengths of the line segments whose endpoints are given below. Explain how you determined that the line segments are horizontal or vertical. So let me start with this first one, -3, 4, and -3, 9. So I'm noticing here that my x coordinates are the same, but my y coordinates are different. If I were to plot those points, here's how they would look. -3, +4, so over -3, 1, 2, 3, 4, about right here. And -3, +9, so let me keep counting up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up here. So because both of those points have a positive y coordinate, they're in the same quadrant, which means to find their distance, I cannot add their absolute values, I must subtract their absolute values. So I'm going to take 9 minus 4. And again, I'm working with the absolute values here. So absolute value of 9 minus the absolute value of 4, because it's all about distance from 0, which is absolute value, which gives me 9 minus 4, which gives me 5. So my final answer here is 5. Okay, but the directions also say, explain how you determined the line segments were horizontal or vertical. So because I have the same x coordinate here, I know that this will be a vertical line. So I want to go ahead and add that thinking. B, 2, -2, and -8, -2. So this time, my y coordinates are the same, -2 and -2. So instead of a vertical line, this time, I'm going to have a horizontal line. Now let's plot our points. 2, -2. I'm going to change colors here just so you can see that I'm working on a different problem. It's okay if yours are the same color though. 2, -2. So I'm going to go over 2, +2. Here we go. Down 2, 1, 2. There's my first point. Now my x coordinate is -8, so I have to count back 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and again down 2. So you'll notice that it's making that nice flat horizontal line. This time I'm going to take the distances and I'm going to add them because these are in 2 different quadrants. So I'm going to take the absolute value of 2 and I'm going to add it to the absolute value of -8. So once again, put in your absolute value lines, and that's going to give us 2 plus 8, which is going to give us 10. So our final answer here is 10. Okay. You are going to try C, D, and E on your own. Okay. We'll pause the video for a few minutes. Go ahead and try those on your own and then come back for the answers. All right, let's go over the answers. C, the x-coordinates are the same, which means we have a vertical line. I know that the absolute value of -6 is 6, and the absolute value of 1 is 1. Because they are in different quadrants, I'm going to add. So I know that 6 plus 1 equals 7. So C, the distance between those 2 points is 7. D, the y-coordinates are the same, which means I have a horizontal line. The absolute value of -6. I think I typed that in wrong, actually. Excuse me. The absolute value of -9, because I'm looking at those x-coordinates, is 9. The absolute value of -4 is 4. Because they're in the same quadrant, they're both negative. We subtract. 9 minus 4 gives me 5. Last one should be E. The x-coordinates are the same, which means it's a vertical line. The absolute value of -11 is 11. The absolute value of 8 is 8. Because they are in different quadrants, one is negative and one is positive, we're going to end up adding. So 11 plus 8 gives us 19. That is the final answer. And now that you've had a chance to watch me through modeling and also to do a little bit of practice on your own and then come back together and check yourself, you're going to try some totally independent work now. So you see a problem set. You're going to complete the problem set, exercises 1 through 3, in the next 9 minutes. If you finish early, you're going to check your answers and then you're going to read. Okay? For the sake of this video, I'm not actually going to play this timer and record it for 9 minutes, but just know that whoever's teaching you right now is going to set the timer for 9 minutes. Begin now. Okay, last step, we're going to go over these answers. Number 1 should be 11. There are different quadrants, which means we're going to add absolute values. 7 and 4 give us 11. Number 2, if I'm starting at the point -2, 5, it says here that the partners are going to move vertically. Vertically means up and down. I can go up 3 units vertically and get to -2, 8, because 5 plus 3 is 8. Or I can go down 3 units vertically and get to -2, 2, because 5 minus 3 is 2. Lastly, number 3, I started at the point -3, 7. From there, I can draw a line, straight up, straight down, to the left, or to the right. The line has to be 13 units. So if I go vertically up from -3, 7, I end up at -3, 20, because 7 plus 13 is 20. If I go vertically down, I end up at -3, 6, because 7 minus 13 is -6. If I go horizontally up, which would really be to the right, then that means I would end at 10, 7, because -3 plus 13 to the right gives us 10 as the x-coordinate. If I go horizontally down, which would really be to the left, then I have to take -3 minus 13, which gives me -16, 7. So these are the 4 points you should have listed. Last step, you're going to receive an exit ticket. Once you're finished with that, I need you to read silently with your exit ticket flipped over on your desk. As soon as you get your exit ticket, you may begin.